How to become Levan. What would it take for a normal person to become Levan? What would they need to do? Would simply going to the gym and building muscle be enough? Or would becoming as strong as Levan require you to completely change your entire life? And the biggest question, could a normal person actually become Levan? Today, I'm going to answer all of those questions for you. So don't make the mistake of skipping this video, because the thing that seems the easiest at the beginning could end up being the biggest challenge of this entire journey. First, you need a massive body. Let's say that today, a completely normal person decides they want to become like Levan. They start going to the gym, they start working out, and after a few months, they start seeing some muscle. But does that mean they're actually on their way to becoming Levan? Absolutely not, because Levan's strength doesn't come from muscle size alone. His entire body works together as one massive frame. When you look at him, the first thing you notice is his overall size. His upper body, shoulders, arms, and entire frame give him a physical presence that's completely different from most athletes. But here's something really important. Being big and being strong are not the same thing. You can be huge, but if your body can't use that strength properly, that size isn't going to mean much. And that's where the next question in our journey comes in. If being big isn't enough, then where does Levan's real strength come from? His arm strength. Now think about this. In arm wrestling, you're not just trying to push your opponent down. You have to control their hand. And this is where Levan's massive arms become a real weapon. His arms aren't just big to look at. Their job is to produce force, hold that force, and then transfer it into the table. The biceps helps with pulling. The triceps helps with stability and pressure in different positions. But there's one part that people often overlook, the forearm. Because if your forearm can't control your opponent's hand, then even the rest of your strength becomes harder to use. And this is where another layer of Levan's strength starts to make sense. Because having a powerful arm is one thing, but using that arm to control your opponent's hand is something completely different. The real control. Let's say you have an incredibly strong bicep, but your opponent bends your wrist back. What happens now? You still have strength, but you can't use that strength the same way. That's why hand and wrist control are so important in arm wrestling. If you want to build strength like Levan, simply doing curls isn't going to be enough. You need to build your grip. You need to strengthen your wrist. You need to develop finger strength. And most importantly, you need to learn how to maintain that position under pressure, because your opponent is going to be giving you everything they've got too. And when both athletes are using all their strength, the only thing that matters isn't who is stronger. What matters is who can use their strength from the better position. And that's what takes us to the next level. You need to be arm wrestling strong. This is probably one of the most important parts of the entire journey, because someone can be incredibly strong in the gym, but that doesn't mean they'll be just as dominant at the arm wrestling table. Why? Because arm wrestling is a specific sport. You need wrist control. You need pronation, you need cupping, you need rising, you need back pressure, you need static strength. And most importantly, you need the ability to use all of those things together. So if someone only does bodybuilding and thinks that building bigger muscles will automatically turn them into an arm wrestler like Levan, they're already going in the wrong direction. Because becoming like Levan isn't just about building muscle. You have to train those muscles specifically for arm wrestling. But now, another problem comes up. Let's say your arm is incredibly strong. Can you actually use that strength in the right direction? That's where the next secret comes in. Leverage and technique. Let's say two people have almost the same amount of strength, and yet one of them can easily control the other. Why? Because the angle at which you use your strength is just as important. In arm wrestling, things like hand position, wrist angle, elbow position, shoulder position, and body connection can make a huge difference. That means your entire body works like one connected system at the table. You're not fighting with just your wrist, you're using your entire chain. And when an athlete combines a massive body, a powerful hand, a strong wrist, huge arms, and the right technique, that's when their strength starts looking like something completely different. But so far, we've talked about training and physical strength. There's still one question left. Where does all the fuel come from to maintain a body that massive? Diet and recovery. If you want to build a massive physique like Levan's, working hard in the gym isn't going to be enough. Your body needs constant fuel. You need enough calories. You need protein. You need carbohydrates. You need hydration. And most importantly, you need recovery. Because when you train, you're putting stress on your body. But it's after that stress, when your body recovers and adapts, that progress happens. So, if someone keeps training all day, every day, but their nutrition and recovery are terrible, instead of becoming like Levan faster, they could actually be holding themselves back. And that's why a transformation like this isn't just a workout plan, it's a lifestyle. But up until this point, we've been talking about things a person can improve through hard work. Now, we get to the one factor that you can't completely control through hard work: genetics. Now think about this. Two people follow the exact same workout. They eat the same food. They follow the same recovery routine. And yet, why don't they get exactly the same results? Because everyone's body is different. Muscle building potential can be different. Body proportions can be different. Natural strength can be different. Recovery and adaptation can be different too. And this is where Levan's journey becomes different from the journey of a normal person. Genetics can give you potential. But genetics alone don't turn you into a world-class athlete. You still need years of training to turn that potential into performance. And that brings us to another big question. If a normal person starts today, how long would it actually take to get anywhere close to Levan's level? Years of training. The truth is, strength like this doesn't come with a shortcut. A normal person can't walk into a gym today and become Levan in a few months. First, you'll build basic strength. Then your body will adapt. Then your technique will improve. Then your grip and wrist will get stronger. Then your nervous system will learn how to handle that kind of force. And after that, you'll have to spend years maintaining and improving that progress. So this isn't just a transformation. It's a long journey. And the hardest part of that journey probably won't be any single exercise. The hardest part will be staying consistent for that long. But now, we've reached the question you've been watching this entire video for. So, can you actually become Levan? If the question is, can I make my body much bigger and stronger? Then yes. You can dramatically improve your strength, muscle mass, grip, wrist strength, and arm wrestling ability. But if the question is, can I become exactly like Levan? Then the answer isn't that simple, because Levan isn't just a combination of muscles. His body structure, natural potential, years of training, arm wrestling experience, technique, and mentality. All of those things come together to create who he is. So maybe you can try to become as strong as Levan. You can learn from Levan. You can understand the principles behind his training. You can push yourself toward your own maximum potential. But becoming an exact copy of someone else may simply not be possible. And maybe that's the most interesting part of this entire story. Because the real goal shouldn't be to become a copy of Levan. The real goal should be to bring out the strongest version of yourself. And if you've made it this far, then now you know that becoming like Levan isn't just about having bigger muscles. It takes a massive body, specialized strength, hand control, technique, training, recovery, genetics, and years of consistency. But did you know that even Levan has a weakness that can be used to beat him? If you want to know what it is, click on the video on your screen. I've already explained it there.